CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, April 1st, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Today is also April Fool's Day, so be careful. A violent explosion has rocked the center of Paris, destroying part of a building and sending smoke rising over the French capital. Witnesses are suggesting that it might be a gas leak. Officially, it's been not reported as terrorism. Residents living near the site of the blast in the 6th arrondissement have been evacuated. People living inside the tower Montparnasse, formerly France's tallest skyscraper, felt the building shake. Photos are showing firefighters scaling ladders to fight a blaze on the upper floors of a historic apartment block. They have been called to the scene on Rue de Berreté at about 12:20 p.m. local time. Paris remains on high alert, of course, following last week's terror attacks in neighboring Belgium. Speaking of Belgium, the police labor union has written a letter to the Belgian Interior Minister saying that as many as 50 ISIS supporters have infiltrated the same Brussels airport where the terror attacks occurred last month. The letter says they're working as cleaners, caterers, and baggage handlers and positioning themselves for new attacks. Quote, even today there are at least 50 supporters of ISIL who work at the airport, said the letter from the Union Secretary Alan Peters to the Belgian Interior Ministry. They have a security badge and have access to the cockpit of planes. Brussels' Zaventem Airport handles more than 23 million passengers each year and was the site of 2 suicide bombs 2 weeks ago in which 35 people were killed. Police in India have now detained 5 officials from a company that was in the process of building an overpass that collapsed in a crowded Kolkata neighborhood in West Bengal, killing at least 24 people. The 5 employees who were detained worked for the Hyderabad-based IVRCL Infrastructure Company, which was contracted in 2007 to build the overpass. Of course, this is 2016. That was 9 years ago. The officials are being questioned for possible culpable homicide, punishable with life imprisonment. North Korea has fired a short-range missile into the sea and, more importantly, tried to jam GPS navigation signals in South Korea today. This comes after the U.S., South Korea, and Japan announced that they would continue to work to prevent North Korea from obtaining nuclear weapons. Officials said the attempt to jam GPS signals, which began yesterday, did not cause any major disruption for military or civilian traffic. However, more than 130 fishing boats reported problems with their navigation systems, causing a number of them to return to port. In France yesterday, hundreds of thousands of workers and students took to the streets of French cities protesting proposed labor changes proposed by President Hollande. Demonstrations led to scores of arrests as youths and police clashed in a number of cities and are part of a nationwide protest against changes that could alter France's 35-hour work week and make it easier to hire and fire employees. Some 390,000 people apparently took part, according to police. Organizers of the protest said the figure was closer to 1.2 million. A commentator said it's not just the demonstrating but also the strikes, indicating that workers, unemployed students, and high school students are all opposed to anything that will alter the kind of working conditions and the kind of labor laws that France has known for decades. French President Hollande has been plagued by low popularity because the unemployment rate in France is still hovering at 10%. He has said he will not run for re-election unless he can address the unemployment rate. Of course, the working situation in France is perhaps the envy of the whole world. The winner of the bidding for Starwood International Hotel Groups turns out to be Marriott after all. Yesterday afternoon, the Anbang Insurance Group of China and its partners dropped out. They withdrew their $14 billion offer for Starwood, opening the doors for Marriott's $13.25 billion bid. It's unclear exactly what happened with Anbang. In a news release, the insurer's financial consortium claimed unspecified, quote, various market considerations for its need to withdraw. This game has been going on for a while. There have been various matches by both Anbang and Marriott. Back in November, the Anbang chairman Wu Zhaohe rescinded a preliminary offer to acquire Starwood right in the middle of a meeting after he was pressed to provide written details of the insurer's financing plans. That abrupt withdrawal raised questions about whether the Chinese government had blocked the transaction or whether the group had run into problems in financing the deal. The Financial Times is reporting that one person directly involved in the negotiations said that Anbang has failed to demonstrate that it had the financing in place. At the New York International Auto Show yesterday, which is a pretty big event in the auto world, it's held on the west side of Manhattan in the Jacob Javits Center, the convention center, a Porsche 911 Turbo caught fire, spewing out black smoke, forcing people to flee and bringing workers to the scene with fire extinguishers. The older model sports car burst into flames in a special events hall at the sprawling complex shortly before noon. It was a small electrical fire. It was quickly extinguished. However, video shows flames spewing from the rear passenger side tire of the Porsche and workers dousing the car with fire extinguishers. It's not good publicity. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.